All right, so when we talk about how an economy should run, we usually get stuck between two big ideas, right? On one side, you've got capitalism, which basically says your success is tied to your productivity. And on the other side, there's socialism, which says success comes from redistribution. For most of modern history, it feels like those are the only two choices we've got.
But what if there's another way, a third option? Imagine a divine voice stepping in and challenging both of our man-made systems with a pretty radical promise. A voice that says, in my economy, no one stays poor and no one can stay rich at the expense of others. Wow. That right there, that sets the stage for a completely different way of thinking about money, wealth, and justice.
And that different way is called Jubilee. You can think of it as God's own mathematical blueprint for an economy. It's a system designed from the ground up to stop generational poverty in its tracks, to periodically reset inequality, and to put a hard mathematical limit on greed. This isn't just about encouraging people to be nice, it's a feature that's literally built into the economic code.
Now, to really grasp just how revolutionary Jubilee is, we first have to be honest about the systems we've built for ourselves and where they tend to fall short.
So let's take capitalism. For all the incredible innovation and opportunity it creates, it has a kind of mathematical shadow. If you just leave it to run on its own, wealth has a natural tendency to compound and flow upward, right? And at the same time, poverty can become this sticky trap that gets passed down from one generation to the next. The gap just gets wider and wider over time.
So the typical response to that is socialism, which tries to fix the problem by leveling everything out. But that often comes with its own steep price. Creativity can get bogged down in bureaucracy, productivity can grind to a halt, and individual freedom can get traded away for dependence on the state. And here's the bottom line. Both of these systems, designed by humans, really struggle with the same fundamental problem. Neither one has a permanent, built-in mechanism to solve for the relentless pressure of inequality, or frankly, our own human tendency toward greed. At the end of the day, they're imperfect systems trying to manage imperfect people.
So let's look at God's alternative. His solution isn't just a moral plea, asking people to try harder and be better. Nope. Instead, he builds an economic reset button directly into the calendar, into the very fabric of time itself. It's a solution based on math.
It all kicks off with the number 7. Every 7th year was called a sabbatical year. This was a mandatory, society-wide pause. The fields had to rest. People had to rest. Even the economy took a breath. It was a built-in break from that constant, relentless drive to just produce and accumulate more. But that single 7-year cycle was just one piece of a much grander design. God told the people to count 7 of these sabbatical cycles in a row.
A Sabbath of Sabbaths.